Hello and welcome to Algebra. Today we're going to look at an extension of what we were doing yesterday. We're going to be multiplying monomials. So first we're going to multiply using the distributive property. Now if you remember distributive property, basically you're going to apply to each part. So we have 3x is one term, 1 is another term. We're going to do 2x times 3x, then plus 2x times 1. So 2 times 3 is 6. X times x is x squared. Remember there's an understood 1 here. Then plus 2 times 1 is 2, and x, just we carry on. You can rearrange this. Remember, this is 2 times x times 1. You could just use commutative property multiplication. 2 times 1 times x, and so that's 2x. The same thing with this one. 2 times x times 3 times x. You could just say 2 times 3 times x times x. 2 times 3 is 6. X times x is x squared. And so we've multiplied using the distributive property. Now remember that you cannot combine x squared and x to the first because one is a quadratic term and one is a linear term. They have to be exactly the same term. They have to have the same degree. In fact, they have to have the same exact variable combination. They have to be like terms for you to combine. Well, let's do this a little differently. This time we're going to use an area model. Now, we're going to say that the 2x, let's call that some unknown quantity. Let's say this is x, and then there's 2 x's. So let's say it's 2 x's tall. Now, we're also going to look at the 3x plus 1. Well, there's 3 x's, so 1x, 2 x's, 3 x's, and then we just have, we know this is 1. So if we sort of cross this through, x by x, the area of this would be x squared. The area of this would be x times x, of course length times width, which would be x squared as well. X times x, x squared. X times x, you can see all of these are x squared. And then this one is 1 unit wide and x units tall or deep. So x times 1 would be just x. Same thing here, x times 1 is x. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x squareds, and then 1, 2 x's. So 6x squared plus 2x. It's just a little bit different way to find the same thing. Now it's not going to be applicable all the time, but sometimes it can be handy, and this is sort of an algebra-style sort of approach to the same problem. So let's go ahead and multiply the following. We have a monomial times a trinomial, and so we're just going to go through and multiply this. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So this is negative 1x to the third. We're going to multiply it by each one of these. So let's color that in. Call this blue. So negative 1x to the third times 9x to the fourth. And then I'm going to keep change here. You don't have to do this, but it's helpful sometimes. Pull down the plus. Negative 1x to the third times negative 2x to the third. Negative 1x to the, pull down the plus. Negative 1x to the third times 7. And so you notice all of these blue go here, and each one of them gets this same term. So you distribute it onto each. So now we're just going to rearrange these a bit. Negative 1, multiply the coefficients. Negative 1 times 9 is negative 9. X to the third times x to the fourth, remember rack them up, is going to be x to the 7th, plus negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2, x to the third, or x cubed times x cubed, x to the 6th, plus negative 1 times 7 is negative 7, x cubed. Now, it's not really nice to do this double sign. It's just a little, it's not simplified. It's not a good looking version of it. So we're going to change this to negative 9x to the 7th plus 2x to the 6th minus 7x cubed. And that's it. That's what we'll do to multiply monomials.